guys, welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. I'm here down in the very heart of my home county of Hampshire, and it's mayfly season. I don't think there's going to be a mayfly around, to be honest. I've seen one or two. I'm at a place called John O'Gaunt's Fishery. It's a 2-lake complex. It's a day ticket. You can pay and play, I'm going to call it. That's what I like calling these fisheries, like pay and play. It's very, very clear water in a small lake here. And over here, I'll swing that camera around over there. We'll have a walk around later on. There's a larger lake which has got a tinge of colour in it. A few coarse fish, that probably makes the colour in there. And this one, I don't think there's any coarse fish in there. I've never really seen any, but hey ho, we're going to give it a go. But I'm going to be doing something a bit different. I'm going to be trying to catch fish in the surface film or on the surface. And that means maybe trying dry fly fishing. Now, there's several ways of dry fly fishing. One way is just to leave it static on the surface and imitate a natural insect, but I don't see any fish rising. There's a lot of anglers here today. It's busy, it's quite good weather. Slightly overcast, nice little breeze, which I don't normally like because it gets wind in the mic, but it does put a ripple on the water, and that's quite good sometimes for dry fly fishing if they're taking the natural insects. If they're not, if they're taking them deeper, then I have to go below the surface with a slow sinking nymph. Normally, I'll be fishing with a fast sinking nymph, so let's get over here. I'm going to walk around here. I've got the camera on the pole. I can't really use the big camera because that breeze is going to be in the microphone. It'll be all, we're going to hear all that rubbish. So there we go. I'm going to put it up there as I'm walking along. You can get an idea of this lake there. There are fish in there, and I've actually got casing. I might be able to sneak a picture underneath the water of a trout going past. So it's not what you would call a heavily stocked water, this one. I think they stock it several times, maybe a couple of times a week. I don't actually know how often they stock it, but this one can go very, very clear, probably in about another 2 weeks. So fingers crossed I get to show you something, but first I'll show you what tackle I'm using. Okay, so the rod I'm using is an old fibre tube blank, which I probably built when I was about 19, say over 50 years old, still going strong. Look, all the whipping's coming off. Do you think the trout are bothered? Of course they're not. An old reel, just so people always ask me what fancy ass tackle I'm using. I'm not. It's called an Intrepid Rimfly King Size, which is like a small salmon reel, but I use it for trout. Floating line, I don't know what it is, to be honest. Somebody must have given it to me. The fly I've got there is a standard, I'm going to call it a Walker's Mayfly nymph. I don't know whether you guys can see that there, but it is actually a mayfly nymph, which in traditional mayfly season, which it should be now, would catch. But I'm going to be changing that for a very, very small one and or a dry fly. But something I did do, a lot of you guys might have done this. In fact, I know for a fact you would have done, some of you anglers. I put my rod in the car, got it caught under the dashboard, went to take it out when I was fishing another fishery and filming with Mike the other day, snapped the tip ring. Couldn't find a tip ring, so what I did, I sawed the end of the rod off, right, like that there. I got an ordinary intermediate ring like this, that's an intermediate ring, and what I did was I whipped it on there, and then I smeared a lot of Araldite 2-part epoxy glue over that to keep it rigid. Now I've already used it, I've already caught trouts on it, it casts absolutely fine. Yes, it should have a tip ring, but that just goes to show you, if you're really stuck and you can't get, say it's over the weekend, the tackle shops are shut, if you've got a spare intermediate ring and some Araldite, you can get away and actually fish, because it's almost impossible to fish with just this, because it tangles around the end of the line if you don't have a tip ring. Tip ring is quite important. So there's the first tip already. We haven't even put a fly in the water yet and you've got a tip there. Now, I'm going to be using this small camera, but what I'd like to do, because I have just literally walked straight to this lake, there's a lot of people on the other lake, I'm going to walk around and see if I can spot a trout, put the underwater casing on here and see if I can just gently slide that camera in, because I might be able to see the trout going around. And if you see this happen, that means it's taking either buzzers or hatching insects, something that's moving underneath, rising insects going up towards the surface, you see their mouth go. That's what I'm looking for, little white flash. I might not see it visually myself, but the camera might pick it up. Again, if you see that white flash, you know it's not just a fish breathing regularly, he's grabbed at something, he's taken an insect. Change those casings over. just look behind the cliff on the left, there is a trout comes out. Now watch the white mouth flash there. You saw that, and here comes another one. That white flash of the mouth is that trout taking something like a buzzer or a nymph. And that's what you're looking for basically, is underwater. If you can see the fish, is the white flash of the mouth. It just gives you an indication, you know, as to whether they're feeding or not, and not wasting your time. Just nice to be able to see the odd fish come through the water. And just look at the scum. This is just like the blossom off of willows that have drifted into one corner of the lake on the wind. And I know there's going to be trout along the edge of that. So I'm holding the camera out, I can see a trout there, but I'm wearing polarizing glasses. So I should invest in a polarizing lens, and then I can show you guys what I am actually seeing through my glasses. Now you can see how this mats up. It goes into like a thick scum on the surface. You could be forgiven for thinking there's nothing under. Just watch when I get this camera under there. Now I couldn't see anything under there. I just put the camera on and then check it later on the computer when I get home. And I just pan it around thinking, well, there'll be something to talk about. The mat on the top. Whoa, hang on a minute. Are there going to be any trout in there or not? There's the scum on the surface, and it provides a sort of shade. You can see this is what you would look at and walk past as an angler. You say, well, I can't possibly fish under there, could I? Well, yeah, I mean, look at the clarity of the water. There is what was obviously an old casting platform, and you can see underneath that bubbles of oxygen stuck underneath. I think they are, I'm not sure, but very, very clear there. Same here, absolutely tap water clear with a beautiful pattern going across the lake bed there. So it shows you there's no question anywhere there the trout can see your fly. But something made me put that camera back underneath, right inside the middle of the scum pack. And what should I see? Oh my God, look at the trout underneath. There's one out on the left on the outside of the scum there. Now he's just cruising around, and that's sort of the area you would expect to find a trout. But I've got no way of knowing what's on this camera footage until I get home and look on the computer, because there's no monitor playback with the underwater camera. Oh my God, there's another trout right under the scum, and another silverfish. And just to the right, that's 4 fish under that scum mat. No, 5 fish. So you can see that shadow line of the scum there actually does hold fish. A lot of anglers won't even look at it. They think, oh, there's nothing there. No, they're there, but they're underneath it. So what I'm going to be doing is this. I'm going to be changing over. I'm going to try dry fly, even though there is nothing moving on the surface. Now, let me change these flies first. So I've got my dry fly box. Here's the nymph, the mayfly nymph, that I did put on provisionally, thinking that's what I'd be fishing. That's a full-size nymph there. I'm going to take that one off. Make sure you snip that knot out there. And I'll put that one just in here. It's not my nymph box. And then I can have a look through here. These are kept dry like this, you see. This is why you put them in. I'm going to be trying a big bushy fly. Do you know? I don't even know what the name of this one is. Let me show it to you. Very, very windy. There's the fly there. I'm going to put some of this dry fly powder on it to make it float, and then I'm going to drag it across the surface. Now the reason for this is because of an angler I watched about 30 years ago. Now it was at a lake in the New Forest in Hampshire again, and a regular day ticket fishery of its time, just a single lake, very dark, very peaty coloured, and normally it would be quite fast move lures even in the coloured water, but I never forgot this American fly fisherman who was casting out, and he was using a big bushy fly. Now I want to say it's something like I think they call it a grey wolf, is it? A very big bushy fly. And he was dragging it and skating it across the surface, most unfly-like. But then on the other hand, if a fly is dead on the surface and the wind catches it on a breezy day like this, it is going to skate through the surface film. Maybe that was the reason it looked natural. So I've got that big bushy fly there, got the wings here. And by the way, that guy had a limit of 4 fish and went on to buy a second ticket. And I think he got 3 out of the 4 on the second ticket, so he had 7 trout. So, stuck in my mind, I'm going to give it a go today. Probably won't catch anything, but it's worth a try. And you guys out there always think outside the box. So there's my fly. I've got the big camera, so I hope you're going to be able to see that okay. Now the bit that keeps the fly floating on the surface film are these, are the front parts. They're the finer fibres of like hen hackle, they probably are. So the hackle fibres, not so much the wings, actually keep it floating on the surface, and they're going to skate it, figure eight it slowly through the edge of the ripple. So first let's get some dry fly powder on that fly. Also I'm going to put a little bit of floating up the leader like this, smear it, because you want it floating in the surface film to be able to skate it across the surface. Just rub that between your fingers, a pinch of line between your fingers and rub it up and down, getting it onto the leader, and that should make it float. Alright, the next thing to do is add fly here to water. Okay, I'm on the length of my lanyard here for the microphone. I can already see that the wind's going to allow me to cast a fly away from my face, because the wind's pushing this way and I'm right-handed, so it tends to push the fly line into your face. So if you can, if you're a beginner, try and get the wind, if you're a right-handed caster, on your left face, so as you're casting it pushes the fly line away from your face like this. I'll try and get it going. So as you can see, if there is a wind picks up here, it's going to push that fly into my face and I might get hooked up. Now you can go backwards, you can do back casts like this. You can do back casting, so that way the wind is pushing the fly potentially away from your face. Obviously you wouldn't be fishing one-handed, and I'm bound to catch my microphone line any second now. Another little tip is don't cast straight across the wind lane there. Try and cast at a slight angle, because otherwise you're going to get a big belly in your line, and then when you do get a take, you're probably going to miss it. So what I'm going to be doing is just figure of eighting that fly slowly back, skating it across the surface, and it's actually making a little wake across the fly. In fact, you can get flies that are called waking flies. They make a wake through the surface. So I'm going to give this a go, and if I don't get any takes on this, then trust me, I'll be going to a slower subsurface nymph. Now don't be afraid to let that fly drift right around up against that scum, because that is why the scum there has been driven down there by this wind, by this breeze. The fish are there for the shade, but also any food particles, any insects on the surface are going to be pushed towards the edge of that scum. So don't be afraid to let your fly go down and drift right up against the scum. Let's throw it in there a bit tighter. I'll get under that tree if I can. That's better. If you do get a take, you see the trout rise, don't strike fast, because the ring that you see is his nose coming up, not his mouth shutting on the fly. So give it a pause of a second or two before setting the hook, and you should be hooked up to a fish. Now I've just seen a fish rise under there. I'm casting, oh, right by him. Now that's just drifting in very, very slowly, drifting in towards that scum. I might actually later go and get, oh, there's a trout. Let's see if I can induce him with a take. I'm just waking that fly slowly. There's the rise. Let's see if he takes that one. Now of course, once you've seen that trout rise, you have absolutely no way of knowing which way in the 360-degree circle that he's actually gone. Well, that fly is now right in there, drifting up against that scum. And if I do hook a fish there, I'm going to keep a right hand pressure on it to try and keep it away from any rushes or snags. It's sure to want to bury underneath there. Now listen, after a while that fly is going to get waterlogged, so what you want to do is what they call false cast to dry it off, get the moisture off the fly. I shake it like this, and then you just, I'm going to call it swishing it backwards and forwards, aren't I? You just get it backwards and forwards without shooting the line forwards, dry it off, and then the next time you throw, it should sit right on the surface. Don't forget, with your dry fly fishing, don't do what I do looking around all the time, because you're going to miss the rise, you're going to miss the take. Keep an eye on the fly, watch what's happened, pause, second or two, let them turn down, and then just set the hook. But when you're nymph fishing, and I will go nymph fishing in a minute, then you're retrieving, so you've got more of a constant contact with that fly line. I think I need to get tighter under that tree. So let's give it a dry off. And that is right in there with them. Just let that swing round. I'm going to stand this side, guys, because the wind is howling with this microphone. Hopefully you can hear this. I've just missed one, a classic rise, and I did what I said don't do. Keen, just a second or two too fast on the strike. But what you got him on the camera, dry fly. Oh, he's come off. But you saw the take, guys. Just pause a second, let that fly go down. Now, because I've hooked that trout, there is every chance the fly is going to be soggy. So bring it in, dry it off with some false casts, like this. You can actually get some materials now that will dry the fly for you, like a sort of mini chamois leather, really. And don't get the idea that dry fly is anything superior to anything else. It's just another method of fishing. It can be just a little bit more entertaining. I'm not going to say it's more skillful, you just have to be on the ball a little bit. Now, as you can see there, the fly is a little bit soggy, so it's going to sink. So I'm going to dry it off, let that fish rest, and then have another go with a new dry fly, nice sitting on the surface. Now, if you do want to try something different, although you can let the fly sit static on the surface and watch the take, if you can visually see those trout, you know, cruising, the fly's up here and they keep ignoring it, they won't come up for it. If you just tweak it about that much, let's say 2 inches, it makes it look alive, it makes it look as though it's struggling to break free from the surface, and very often that will make a trout turn upwards and take it. It's just one of those little totally awesome fishing tips that might pick you off the extra fish or two. Another little totally awesome tip is, if you're not fishing a great deal, say you put your rod and your tackle away, you use it half a dozen times a year, that line on the reel will have some sort of memory, and it will come off circular, it will come off in little clock springs. I'll show you what it looks like on the surface, and I'll show you how to stretch your line a little bit, make it straighter, and hopefully you won't miss the fish on the strike. Okay, so there you should just about be able to see the fly on the surface. It's about as close as I can get. So you can see it's laying there on the surface film, obviously no trout there, but you can see it's just floating there. Now what you can do is give that line a tweak like this, laying on the surface, and you can see all the flotsam and jetsam going down past it. But if you just give that fly just that little bit of tweak, hopefully you can see that when a trout's near it, just give it 2 or 3 tweaks like that, it just creates ripples that look as though that fly is struggling. Obviously it's difficult filming and fishing like this when I'm actually fishing. I'm trying to get your pictures, but you can see just a little bit of movement there to make those ripples and make it look like that fly is actually struggling to escape. Now you should be able to see what I mean by the coils in that line. There's some memory retention on the reel spool, and that's not good if you're fishing like that. You need to pull it straight. And I'll show you what I do straightening this out. So you get your fly line like this. In fact, I think I'll get it out of the bush first, don't you? Right. There's a nice piece of grass up here. Just throw it all up there. Get ourselves sorted out here for you, right? It's dead easy. All you do basically is get a length out, arm span, and just put a bit of pressure on it like this, and it stretches that fly line out. Instead of all those kinks and coils on there, watch what happens. How much that? 10 seconds I've given it. Straightens it all out. That way, when you do go to strike, you're not striking through all those coils laying on the surface. You should actually be direct to the fish. Don't snap your fly line. Just a little bit of tension takes out any memory there, all the way along. In fact, really I recommend doing it with your nymph fishing, wet fly fishing, lure fishing, all types. Just even if you don't go for say a month, some of the cheaper fly lines will have more memory retention with them. Wow, that wind's getting up. It will give me problems later on. See if I can't do all these tips for you and then catch a fish. So I've missed one. There we go. All straightened out. That should last enough for this session at least. And when I lay it on the water with a cast, it should look much straighter. Now then, when I lay this out on the lake surface, it should lie a lot straighter. Let me show you. Now you can see there, if I'm keeping tight with it in the wind, a lot of those coils are gone, and you can see it goes straight up to the rod tip. Right, the wind's picked right up, and I'm going to try one more cast drifting under that bush. I can see the fly there. I cannot see the trout at the moment, so I can't tweak the fly. I'm just going to let it drift around under its own steam with the wind. And here on the surface there's lots of bit of blossom coming off the trees. They're all falling on the surface and they're all getting dragged down to that corner. Hopefully we're not getting wind in the mic. Dry that off and see if I can get in a little bit tighter. That's better. Got him on, guys. Got him on. And look how he's gone to the left, straight in there towards the snag. On the surface, right by the scum. He's going absolutely, if you're going to see this, put this up a bit for you. He's going right there for the scum. Now he's come out in the open water, and hopefully I've got a good chance now. Not a big fish, and I'll tell you what I tend to find, you will get smaller fish on a dry fly. That's where he is. I'll twist that camera around. You can see he's well out by the island, trying to get me around the island there. And he has no chance. Perhaps he has got a chance. As ever by the rushes you see the line cutting through the water. Obviously with a dry fly, just play that fish a little bit gingerly, because what happens is they're just hooked around the top of the mouth. They're not taking it right back like they might do a nymph, I find. So consequently you can lose the odd fish if you play them too hard. That's just my experience. No doubt there's dry fly experts out there. There's many experts in all walks of life that say different, but I find if you play them too hard on a dry fly, chances are you might pull them off. This is a nice rainbow. Well, he's going well. In fact, let's see what he looks like under the water. Coming down here in beautiful conditions like this with beautiful fantastic surroundings, peaceful. My goodness me, makes a change to have no planes, everything, jet skis, chainsaws, motorbikes, general noise, and a great fish on a dry fly. John O'Gauld's fishery, small lake, haven't even got to the big lake yet, and I've got a cracker. Well, that wind's really picking up now. It's making it difficult for me to get that right-handed cast without pushing the fly into my face. And of course the wind's going to try and push my fly up the tree. We all know where that's going. Eventually I'm going to lose that up the tree. So what I'm going to do is I want to try and go over the other side. That way the wind will be on my left shoulder, push the fly line away from my face. I can throw a longer line and I might be able to skate it back against that ripple, much like I told you I saw that American guy do on a New Forest fishery. I better have one more cast, just in case. Once again I'm on the limit of my microphone lead, so I can't really cast. I've got to put my hand over it, but I'm going to cast, if I can, that's better, across the wind there, and just going to see if that fly goes down against the scum, if I can pick another fish off there. If not, I'm going to start walking around and try and target individual fish, and using that 2-inch tweak that I was telling you about, just moving it just a little bit. When you don't see trout rising, and they probably will rise either lunchtime or perhaps late evening, early evening, late evening this time of year, when more natural insects start moving, the water warms up. I'm just going to start tweaking that fly slowly, just to try and attract a fish's attention. I can also scout around here using polarizing glasses, and I can actually make a nice, dry that fly off. You see, you can just keep doing these false casts and get it out there on the surface, and as that comes towards me I'm going to keep pace by retrieving the line. I don't see any fish moving, but I might try around that side because there's less ripples and I should be able to spot the fish. I don't see any fish moving here in the open water. So one more cast and try and get out of this awful wind. I mean, one of the advantages, I do all types of fishing. I do big game fishing, shark fishing, sea fishing, beach fishing, river fishing, lake fishing. Obviously a bit of salmon fishing sometimes, British Columbia. But trout fishing is light gear. It's a bit like lure fishing. You can just take like one rod, one reel, a pocket full of flies, and away you go. Obviously a net, which I now realise I've left over there with that trout in it. Oh yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. I can see it coming now. I'll switch to the head cam because there's no way I can fish with that pole, but there's a magnificent piece of water along here, and I've seen trout come in. It's just like bonefish. I'm going to tell you what, it's electrifying. Seeing a trout go through maybe 3-4 feet of water and it grades up here right into the shallows. You think they would never go in there. I've already missed one, so I'm going to see if I can't get a take on a fly, because exactly what I said, I've been able to see the fish visually and watch them come up. It's a beautiful piece of water. Obviously I've got polarizing glasses on. You know, you won't be able to perhaps see what I'm seeing. There's one there now. It's very tricky getting the cast right. There he is. He's really in close. He's really close. He's just down there. He's just moving along. I'm going to hold dead still. I'm going to point to him. He's moving left to right, close in. He's in about 3 feet of water. He's going under the fly now. There you guys are going to see that fish. If I keep dead still, you should see a shape going across the bottom there, and that's not a bad fish. That's the best part, 3 or 4 pounds. That is right in his head. There, I'm going to follow him up. I'll probably spook him. In fact, I won't cast. Can you see him there now? Can you see him just out there, heading that way? I'll keep dead still, see if I can't spook him totally. Oh, fish, 2 fish coming, guys, 2 fish coming, I'm in a mess. Oh, this is going to be a bad cast here, he's so close. This wind is just a nightmare. I think he's seen it, he's turned. This fish is going to take. I feel this is a taker. If I can just get, I'm going to leave it there. He's right in front of me there. I can't move, I can't move. I can't barely even cast. I'm just going to tweak it. No. Why does the wind come just at the time you want to make the cast? It is so annoying. Now, if that was on a weighted nymph, I feel I'd have a chance. I'm just skating the fly. He's not looking, but there was a second fish coming in the shallow water. And I think he's out there. There's one, look, guys. Oh man, right on the nose. Oh, this wind is a son of a gun. Here he comes, watch the fly. Ooh. Oh, he turned off it. Flies out there, guys. I'm going to take a long cast, take a chance. I don't know if you're getting any of this. The other fish is just there. I thought he was a taker, but maybe he's spooker. The big one out there, that one's a taker. Let's just see what else is out there. Another fish coming off the bank there. My God, it's just like bone fishing. Oh, there's 2 there now. There's 2 fish. They're getting close to each other. Dare I cast again? One is heading towards me. I'm going to take a gamble on the far one. Look at this fish here, guys. I'm hoping if I keep dead still. Fish about a good 4 pounds. Just cruising. Second fish behind it. Third. No, that's the bottom. That's a good fish there. I doubt he'll come up the fly. My man over here, however, might do. There's a little cutback bay in here. I wonder if it's too shallow for trout. I'm going to dry this fly off a minute while I'm at it. Just all you do is just this, look. You're going to follow it, just dry it. Make sure you don't grab a tree. Yeah, it looks like a sort of silty bit of lagoon. There's a deep hole there. And I don't see any trout in there. My God, is that clear or what? Oh, right in the corner. Good cast. Line spooked the fish. Small one. He could be a taker. I don't know. He's still in that corner, cruising right. Tight in the corner. Dare I cast again? He's turning, he's turning, he's turning. Okay. Is he going to take? Is he going to take? No. I've got to put it on his face. Oh, he saw that. He's getting more agitated. Sometimes the little blip the fly makes will attract their attention. Oh, there's another trout there. Down there. Why am I whispering? Why do I whisper? I'm going to throw at that one. No, he's not taking. This guy is cruising around. It's right on the money. He is not taking at all. I'm doing the tweak. I'm doing the American tweak and it ain't working. Maybe I'm not doing it fast enough. Oh, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Oh, he's gone. Oh, God. That was shocking, Graeme. That's, God, dear. Am I going to make 70? I won't at this rate. That was unbelievable. He was inches coming up from it. Now I feel one tweak. No, let's go and find another fish. Tip number 354, guys. Try and keep the sun behind your back for best spotting chances. And also look, that's where I'm moving now. 12:15. The light's at its best, the sun's overhead. I've got the best chance of finding fish, even in this ripple. That is not a good sign. See how glary it is there? I can see fish moving. I possibly wouldn't even see them come up to the fly. Nice channel here between the islands. Bit of a deep hole there. I use it as a bit of a screen to go in slowly. I am a believer they cannot see colour, but they can see movement. And they certainly feel vibration. There's one over there. This, guys, is like a bonefish flat. It's unbelievable. I'm seeing fish all over the place. And look at the beautiful clarity of the water here. I'm not sure if it's a fish I've just cast to. Oh, there's a fish coming in close. See him? He's down in there. I don't expect you're going to see him. Right, new batteries in the camera. Reapplication of floatant to fly line. Cast that trout that is zooming. He doesn't look like a taker, that one. He's just down there, not going to move. In case you can see him just turning down there, it's about 2.5 pounds. But I did see up here a much bigger fish. Man, it's superb to fish over here. Apart from the aeroplanes that keep going over. Anything to break silence. There's another one. Bosh. Fly went in like a hand grenade. He's coming to look at it. I'm doing the American tweak. Keep down, Graeme. Don't panic, Mr. Battery. Drop it on him again. I'm walking away from him. He's so close. He is a none taker. Normally, I wouldn't bother casting so the line goes across the fish. You want him seeing the leader. Oh, there's another fish coming. Let's try tweaking. No. He's spooking as hell. Oh, he took it. My God, he nearly took it. He nearly took it on that when I moved it fast. The fish is just down there. He's moving very fast. He's a bit deep. I might have to go for the nymphs, but I just would so like to get you a take on the surface. Here he comes, here he comes. Oh, he turned down. That was so close. Why is it that some trout turn and others don't? Let's try him again. Here he comes. He's got it. Oh, what a take. You know what they say, people, there's anglers and there's danglers. I just hope and pray you got that take on the camera. Man, that was sweet, wasn't it? That was sweet. That's what makes this lake special. It's like bone fishing. On its given day, obviously if it's cloudy and it's colour in the water, not quite the same, is it? Oh, I just want to go to the Bahamas, hook up a 6 or 8 pound bonefish. Those good old days. I just hope I've switched the camera on. He's there.
It's a cool hard wind outside my window. Ooh, when people don't know it's...
I could probably catch out there as well. In fact, I could, but the farther you cast, the more risky it is trying to set that hook. Oh, is that a fish there? That's behind him. I don't think he'll take it. It's right on him. Another fish in close here, guys. He's just turned. Wait for him to turn. Put the, oh, what a cast. No, he didn't obviously appreciate the cast. He's just cruising through there. Here he comes, here he comes. Oh, look, 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 look. He's still looking. Behind him. That could be a taker the way he went. I think the line spooked him then. Let's try him in the deep water. No, that was a chance. That was definitely a chance. Oh, there's another fish here. I've seen them everywhere. Let's just see what we can get with a long, super long cast. Don't forget, guys, we've got a broken tip ring at the moment. So I'm way out, about nearly 3/4 of the way across that channel. And because I've extended my line, look at the kinks in it, because I haven't straightened that. That needs straightening, possibly on the next cast. Here we go, just a little tweak or two. Can't see any fish out there. I'm sure they're cruising past me. Obviously your chances increase when you can get that fly within 2 or 3 feet or in the trout's vision. As I say, at the moment, they are not rising. The wind is a little annoying. Let's try another. That's way out there. Just let that wind get hold of it. And you might be able to see there's a backward curve in that end of the fly line. So if I did go to draw the line in like this, it's actually pulling it into the wind for a while until that curve goes downwind. Whoo, mama, it's whistling. Now here come more anglers. I'm glad I hopefully got the action when I did for you people. Now watch, those people there are probably going to walk past that scum area where the tree is. That's where they're going to walk past. They're not really, oh my God, look at that trout down there. Look at the end of my rod. Look at the end of my rod. Can you see that one? I can't move. I can't cast. He's going to spook. Right across like a bonefish. Look at that. Superb. Oh my God. I so want to cast at him. In fact, I'm going to, but I know he ain't going to take. Here he comes. Oh no, look at him. He is hustling. Here he comes. Oh, he's looking at it. I never had him down as a taker. So here I'm using a figure of 8 retrieve, trying to impart some life to the fly. As I noted 30 or 40 or more years ago when I watched this American angler dragging a dry fly across the surface of a lake and catching trout after trout after trout. Always learn from those things which you see other anglers catching. Here he comes. Oh, he's flashing at it. He's flashing at it, guys. Which way's he gone? Left or right? You guys tell me. Oh, I see him there. That wind's killing my cast a bit. Well, you can see, people, I'm up on this big log there. Gives me a way better vantage point. I could look down through the water off this little point that's sticking out here. But the wind is kicking it big time today. Nymphs would have it here big time, I feel. They're just that little bit deeper, because there's not much of a hatch on, so there's no reason really for them to come up on the surface and take emerging insects. One last throw. Got him, guys. Got him on. Got him on, guys. Oh, get down off this log. Beautiful take. Really good. Really good take. Get him, walk him up here, and you can see him in the water there. You can see how clear that is. Oh my God, look at that brown trout. Look at that brown trout there. That's why I couldn't catch him in this corner. let's get the net. The net, unfortunately guys, is way back here. Let's see if he's still on. See if he's still on. I've gone to stealth mode here. What I've done is I've taken, so you've got two ratchets in there. You can put them on like this to give you the clicker, or a lot of reels you can actually take them off and you can go into stealth mode, which is nice and peaceful. Look at that blue sky. So there we have it, dry flies work. Certainly this pattern, I don't even know the name of it. It's not a big fish, but listen, he is going really, really well. Net time. You guys got one over the back there as well. Don't be afraid to put some side strain on fish. When I said earlier with dry fly, I'm talking about not extra pressure, just directional change to turn the fish over like this. And whichever way the fish is going, pull against the other direction. And this one is going crazy. So look at the fly, guys, it's just absolutely nicked. It's just nicked in the top. That is a scrapping rainbow. In we come, buddy. Easy, easy, easy. Look at that one, guys. That is, let me just show you where that fly is, just so you know. Look, it's just hanging in that top jaw, just in there. Let's dispatch it. Let's dispatch. Now you can see this fly is really soggy, so I need to dry that off and use it again. And if you re-dry that with a piece of chamois or something like that, then you can put some more dressing, some more floating on there, and get it working again.
It's a cool hard world outside my window. Ooh, where people don't know which way to go. Go. I breathe you in 'cause you're sitting still on my pillow.
Well, the other guys have packed up over there, and they were on nymphs or lures by the look of it. I've walked around here, there's one fish laying static, which is generally a sign it's a spook fish that's then settled down, probably won't take, maybe on a nymph. A couple of others moving here, but you can see there, lovely, hopefully you can see through there. Beautiful clear water. There's that fish over there, it's a black shape, I don't know if you'll see it. No, you won't see that one. I've got polarising glasses on. And there's a fish just in here. I'm not going to move. You should be able to see this one come past on the camera. About 2 pounds or so. He's seen me now, he's just picked up. He's taking buzzers or something, second bigger fish behind it. And these are fish that have been covered by these other anglers before, obviously. But have they been covered by a dry fly? Let's get one out there and find out. Oh, there's the fish, I can see him now. I've gone past him actually. And here come more anglers. He's not tasting or looking at anything. There's a lot of rubbish. A lot of rubbish on the surface here. And I feel my fly might be slightly lost in there. I'm going to drop it on him. Right on his nose, man alive, that was some cast. No, as I thought, he's probably been spooked or even lost by other anglers. There is a second fish moving behind him, deeper and lighter, and he's going to take. Oh, I missed him. Here he comes again. I'm going to go in short. Man, that was close. That was a taker. I probably shouldn't have panicked then. Here he comes. Looked at it again. I'm going to follow this one along. I feel he might be a potential taker. Don't take your eyes off him, folks. No. That's this wind is just swirling everywhere. There's a fish in close here, guys. I've no idea. It's definitely a nymph fish. If I had nymph on, I'd have a right shot. I've got to get in front of him. If I can, I'm going to use this bush. Where's he gone? Oh, he's down there. Oh, I spooked him. Spooked him, guys. He's just the other side of this bush. If I lean out and don't cast, you might see him down there. He's just coming across a sandy patch now. A spooky fish indeed. Fish all over the place down this pool. I'll drop this. I don't know if they're takers or not. That one's not a taker. Look at all these pieces of logs and stuff, like petrified. Is that a tree or petrified logs that's in the water here? Absolutely tap water clear. I mean, you can see all the blossom that's going across on the surface, and that's going down there to make that scum patch. But other than that, nothing on the bottom to give us any problems whatsoever. I'd like to catch that brownie, that's for sure. Well guys, I've lost out on the light. There's one trout there. Here he comes. Got it! Oh, did you see the riser in the margins? What a sweet one. Oh, he's off. Is he off? No, he's not off. He's still on, he's still on, he's still on. Oh, brilliant. Oh, look at him jump. Look at him jump. He's a jumper, a woolly jumper. Well, that was a margin action fish, and it's a nice fish too. Look at the size of this one. Well, well, well. Oh my God. What a take. I just so hope you guys saw that rise. He's smoking up big time. And with a broken tip ring, glued on with a piece of araldite, an intermediate ring. Don't tell me it doesn't work. It does the job. That was a nice take and a nice fish. He looks like he might jump again, that one. I don't know. Woo, mama. Come on. Come on then. Come to Graeme. Net's here? My God, I've even got the net. Whatever's gone wrong? I was just about to say I'm having my last walk around because the light has gone in. 2:30, I told you, best light was at 12. But what's happened, we get what's called white light. Oh, nice jump, nice jump. You get white light, which is a reflection off of these clouds on the water, and it's a real pain to see the fish. That coupled with the ripple makes it difficult. Here he comes. He's coming. He's in. Oh, let me show you this one, people. Dry flies, do they work? He is actually, has he spat it out, I think, is he? No, look, just, I'm going to turn him over. Just nicked there, look. It fell out. Lovely looking fish. Look, beauty. We're getting processed. And I just have one last look around. What I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted with that fish, actually my fly sunk, was I'm going to have to go to the nymph. Come here. God, this wind. I've come around the most windless protected side, but as you can see the lights changed totally, and I've just by pure luck I saw a shape going along the margins. So I'm going to dry my fly here, look. You can get some special stuff. I want to call it chamois leather, but it's not chamois leather. It's a special material that does dry the fly, get that water off. Swish it around, a little bit more floatant. So So I might have to go to finish off just a little bit of this floating on there, or powder. You can use powder, whatever you want, whatever's your favoured method. A little bit up the leader, put it up the leader like this. There used to be an advert by a boxer called Henry Cooper, and he used to splash it all over. It was Brute. Does anybody remember Brute? B-R-U-T. I put so much of it on, I must have kept their shares up when I was about 19. Brute was the thing. Well, I'm walking along. What I'm doing is just tossing my line on the grass here, so I don't disturb the water. And then as soon as I see a fish, I can roll cast. This is sight fishing with a dry fly. I could let it sit out there, but as I say, there's not a big hatch of anything on. I've barely seen any fish rise. If I don't see anything now, I'm going to have to go to a nymph and just cover the water a bit more. I'm just going to go, there's a little bay up here. Let's walk on, let's jog on a bit. I'm looking all the time, I'm scanning. But you can see what I mean about that white cloud, the white, if you can see the white blotches in the water. We've lost the sun up there. You can see, look, sun's behind the cloud. So I've lost the light there, but it's doubled up by the reflection. We get a lot of trouble. It's called white light. You get it bone fishing. It is an absolute nightmare. You just cannot see the bonefish on the flats. And if you can't see them, I won't say you can't catch them, because you can. I had 12 once in a storm on my own with no guide. But I feel there's a trout. I've gone past him a bit. I just see one rise further out. He's looking perplexed. I'm just trying to attract his attention by whacking it in a bit harder. There. Is he going to come up? Is he going to come up? There is another fish over that way. No. Let's have another throw. Now what I have noticed is there's what we call a wind lane. There's a big trout going across there. There's a wind lane going down that way, drifting all those bits down. And as I said before, the trout know this. They know that's where any insects that fall on the water are liable to be. Absolutely idyllic. Not an angler on the lake. Most have just had their lunch, caught a fish, gone home, whatever. And do you know what? I feel they're missing. Not the best visually. Oh, let's get out there, boys. That's a long way out. Sit down. Not the best visual fishing, because it's tough now. That's probably why they've gone home. But certainly, as far as the idyllic setting, this is surely Hampshire stillwater fishing at its best. While I'm just figure-of-eighting this one slowly back, in the vain hope some trout might engulf it. Just a tip with dry fly fishing, I find I cast a little bit harder on the forward cast. That way the momentum throws the leader out straight, hopefully. Just don't forget, the bulky hackles and wings on the dry fly will slow it up on that forward cast, and it tends to fall short. Then you have to move line in, and you have to move line to straighten it. It might just be enough to spook the trout. So I tend to do, I'm going to show you anyway because it's gone a bit quiet. Oh God, look at that one down there. Right in amongst the scum. Right, here goes the cast. Bang, stop it, and it flicks it all out, and the trout hopefully doesn't see me tighten up on the line. I don't have to, because I'm fairly tight as it is. Well, that's my theory anyway. I haven't read it in any books, just something I got from experience of fishing quite a bit. Fishing too much, oh my word. I cast out there, and look what's going down here. You won't see it, I don't expect, because you haven't got polarising lens. 2 fish for going past there. They're probably going too fast to be takers though. I think there's a bunch of fish down that corner. I'm seeing shapes move. I'm going to throw in there. I'm seeing something move. I can just see stuff move. My fly's right over there. I've got a feeling in this little bay there is actually a bunch of fish. Now, I did see that one rise. In fact, I know I can see fish moving. You're just looking for shapes. I can't quite target them to to see which direction they're actually going. I feel, oh, there's one. I feel I need a nymph, guys. I feel a fast sinking nymph. Tweak back would do it. I'm going to throw right in that corner. There. Here he comes. Oh, Smith, what a fish. 5 pounds, right in that scum. Right in the scum. Saw the white of his mouth and just pulled it out of his mouth. Just too keen. Holy cow, that was a good fish. That was fish of the day, man. Oh, good Lord alive. At least I didn't prick and lose it. Trout wonders what the hell that was, I expect. Hopefully you guys saw that. A man who doesn't listen to his own advice. Struck too soon. But you can see what happens. The ring that the trout makes is where his nose comes out of the water. Ooh, he nearly went for it. And don't strike at that fish, just give it a second. It's tricky to do, it's not easy to do. I'm not going to say it is easy to do, it's not. Beginners and experienced alike will miss fish. It's the way it is, the nature of the game. Let's do some of that figure of 8, just tweaking it. I'm just trying to attract their attention. There's one, let's drop it on him. Wind's got me. I want to go in that scum, he knows where the flies are. Just hanging there, you can see all that. If there's insects, that's where they'd be. I've seen several fish in here, people. I'm going to have to go back here, away from them. Take this dry fly off and just try the nymph. It's got to be done. So this is the reverse of what we've been doing. I'm getting the fly, if you can call this a fly, it's called the firebird. Hardly a nymph, but I just want to get deep. Now, previously the fish were up, now they've gone very, very deep because I guess it's warm. I'm cleaning the grease bit off my leader, like this, and I'm going to be using some degrease in here, as technical as, stay there, washing up liquid. Just like this. Bit on the fly as well, why not indeed. Okay, so that I know that, say 4 feet of that is going to sink. There, like that. Make sure you put the lid on. I just use washing up liquid. I'm not going to go and buy special stuff when washing up liquid does the same thing. Ah, the wind. Now I can't see the fish. Great. If I see one, I'm going to lead it by about this much and make this fly, this firebird, just shimmy and shake on one level. Well guys, it's a no-go here at the moment because the wind is roaring, you can't hear it, but it's actually rippling up. I cannot see anything then. I need to target the fish. There's one fish in there that is way over 4. So I'm going to go back up here where it is calmer and just present this and get an idea on how it looks in the water, how fast it's sinking. Then when this wind dies, I'm going to come back here. So I'm targeting 2 areas. I do this a lot, just keep moving, 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 all the time moving. Another tip is if you're doing it like this, do not carry the fly in your hand like this, like I'm doing, because if you snag on something, it's going to put it straight in your hand. Most fly rods have a little ring there. You can either put it in there, or if you do go stalking, just hold the feathers at the back of the fly, not the actual fly itself. Safety factor, health and safety gone mad. I see fish, but I can't see which way they're going. Plus, of course, the sun's got in. Okay. Let's have a little looky here. Now this one will go in. It's got weight to it, so it'll go in pretty chunkily. If you recall in this bay, there was one big one down there, but because now the light's gone, I've got all the white light to contend with, I can't see what the heck I'm doing. I could fish blind, of course I could. I probably might catch the odd fish, but by targeting them visually, you're increasing the size of your fish because you can go for bigger fish, and you're certainly, I feel, increasing your catch rate because you're not casting in what I would call dead areas. So while that cloud goes, we might be actually stuffed here now, guys. My backup would be a big throw between those islands where other guys probably can't reach with a cast. Oh, missed him, man, missed him. He came right out from the bottom. I told you there was a good fish down deep. I think there's a bunch. I wonder if there's a spring or something that comes in there. There's a 5 pound fish in there. He's following me right in. Okay. I just need to get down. I think there's a light coloured spring down there. And they like laying over that one fish. It's got to be 5 pounds. It's got to be. Right down there. Oh, yeah, I'm on. Oh, he took it and came towards me, guys. He took it and came towards me. Is it going to be a brown? I don't know. I'm going to keep him away from the pack. It looks like it is Monsieur Le Rainbow, a French one. I think they got blues in there, they were telling me as well. Damn blues. Just going to walk this guy up here. I'd say this is a rainbow, guessing, just guessing. But that's what it was, just that fact of dropping deeper has made the difference. Good scrappers in here, good scrappers, good scrappers. Very good scrappers, just nipped at it. Just nipped at it. Wow, he's going well. He is going well. Not quite ready yet. And there he is. You just see the Firebird is just nipped in there. So I've got my fish. I'm going to bang this one on the head and off for tea. Well, people, I've had a really good time on the dry fly and then picking up on the nymph. So listen, next time you want to go trout fishing, why not try King Somborn? They are not jumbo 15 and 20 pounders here. They are really good sized rainbows, 2, 3 pound, maybe bigger 4s and 5s, occasional smattering of bigger fish, but it's the place itself and it's the technique that you can use. Now do not think, oh, dry fly fishermen are better anglers. They are not better people, they are not better anglers, they're just a different way of catching fish. I would be the first to say that. Nymphs catch, lures catch, dry flies catch, that's the story. Possibly harder on the dry fly, that's mostly because the conditions will dictate whether there's going to be any flies for you to match the hatch. It's good fun, I'm not saying do it all the time, pick the right conditions, give it a go, it's worth doing. Keep watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show, hit that subscribe button, put your thumb or whatever you do on that little bell thing that gives you a notification, and do not forget to watch Mike's Totally Awesome Outdoor Show. It's called TAOUTDOORS, it's going mad, and of course there's the odd fishing one on there as well. I'm going to clean these fish and I think they're going to end up on Mike's camp. Trout and chips, trout and potatoes, trout and peas, trout and marshmallows, trout and banana, trout and spam.